minute, right?
Where the fuck am I going? I'm sitting right here with my blunt.
Well, this is me. I don't know, the lawyer in me. I'm about to hit the live button.
It's technically after hours, so I can do
Please
whatever.
be fair. I know, and we don't get extra money for doing this. This is thank you out of the kindness
This is out
of
of the
our
kindness
heart,
of our assholes.
right? Because I give a shit about my job, question mark, or at least what I do in life. If my name's on it, I'm like, well, here we are. And I guess air sign, so I have to talk. So here we are. I'm just waiting a second because you know about the beautiful lag of then this gets going and then some people start showing up.
With Al Gore's rhythm.
Yes, and then I gotta do the hello, this is working, and then now I have to push it to the other places. It's a whole
Situation.
You know. And then I have like software that works, but you know, you gotta go.
I don't know how to. I'm telling you, Clippy, get that motherfucker back. Because I need Clippy to just show up on my computer, my phone, at my front door. Like, do you need help? Because yes, Clippy, I ain't never. Number one, help me clear this bowl, but also come back, Clippy.
How do we make this a reality? I feel like there's like a business technique to do this. I don't know. Again, the algorithm. How do I hack it? I'm working on it. I did figure out. I don't know. Did you see some? I made that whole Tuesdays with Tori has a Facebook page, guys. Ooh, wait, did I make a banner?
With your normal posts? I'm telling you. You see me post a picture of my dog, and then at the very bottom, it's like I'll see you at 10 o'clock Central Time tomorrow. And
hey, by the way, No, you're right. But then I had to make a whole whatever other page because then
that page in the comments.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, so find me at 2 p.m. on the page tagged in the first comment, and then make the first comment, tag that page.
Did y'all hear that?
Yeah, that's how I've gotten. Listen, I'm brown. I am meant to get around capitalism and its issues. So Al Gore,
creative capitalism, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me get around that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna find a loop and a hole.
Oh, that's there's a joke there, but maybe is it time? I think people are starting to log on so we can do the stuff. But look what I did. Yay. So I made the clicky banner here. So Facebook,
look at us.
Right, I'm getting there. And so if you guys want to help me, I had to make this page because Facebook told me there's like certain things I'm allowed to stream as a person that is Tori. And yeah, right. Roll my eyes. Sorry, the meta people that are listening. I mean, I love you. Everything's fantastic. And then here's the kicker. Everything gets kicked off that I do anyways, because they're like, because of what you talk about, you know, you're not going to be monetized anyway. So I'm like, why do you care? That's a different episode. And this is why we have a burnout episode. And in case you're wondering, this is why I brought my hoodie of coping mechanisms here. So I have a Tuesdays with Tori. Thank you. Page 2. And the whole purpose was also to like, cool, maybe I can educate. That's like the idea and be all public, right? And then guess what they told me today? I don't have 100 followers, so I'm not allowed. So now I need you to go follow me. Blah, blah, blah.
Gladly, bitch.
100%. So welcome. This is Tuesdays with Tori, but it's more like a whoops Wednesday because if you missed it, life happens because this is a real show with real people that haven't been turned into yes, with real mental health diagnoses. Also want to let everybody know that I'm moving, so I'm just regulated anyways, and I had to warn Josh. This could be a show that's educational, but also I'm kind of in a goofy mood. Thus the hoodies. I want you to enjoy one dog in a sweater here that won't get off the blanket, because if you saw all the boxes over here, it'd be even more hilarious. Oh, and then my other buddy that had a Valentine's Day sweater for everybody. He left, so he's a jerk. But today I had to laugh and title the show, It's Tuesdays with Tori. Whoops, I burned out with the dad bod dom because we have our hoodies for coping and other fun mechanisms. But I feel like some stuff's been happening. So if you're just now tuning in, my name's Tori. If you don't want to talk about sexual health and condoms, and maybe you're not a part about the adult retail industry, disclaimer, so Meta's not mad at me, please scroll away. Otherwise, come hang. ask some questions. I pay for the StreamYard here, so I can put up your comments. And if you do have questions, we'll make it like a little fun and engaging. Hey, Mason. I'm going to be on your time zone. I'm going to North Carolina, which is why I had to buy this giant hoodie. Oh my God, it's so fun. And I have like pockets that zip. I don't know. Wait, I don't know if you'll be
That
able to
is the
see.
most woman thing.
And it's
It
so
doesn't
long.
matter if it's a wedding dress or a hoodie. If it has pockets, bitch, that's
Oh,
it.
I know. And then I can go take a nap. It can be incognito.
Yep, that is the most
Right. I
woman
shouldn't have
thing.
shown it off because now when I go try to hide at the next trade show, they'll be like, oh no, there's just Tori looking like a creeper.
Yeah, no, you're
Hitting
just gonna
her
find me like this, and it's just gonna be like,
with the blunt.
yep, yep.
Fabuloso. Yeah, Mason, I'm gonna go to North Carolina. It's a whole thing. But it'll be lake time. So everyone can visit me on the lake. It'll be good. More to come. But in today's episode, Tori, who normally sells condoms, is bringing her friend Josh, who also has I'm gonna let you introduce and all the things, but you have a stream. You do your taboo talks. You've got all your Instagram with the TheDadBodDom stuff. And I just keep gravitating back to you because I have a good time doing a show with you. So in the spirit of letting people know what we do here at the show, again, I am Tori. I sell condoms. I did lube before that. And a lot of times people are either coming up to me asking me how you get into this business or how I got into this business, or they question the validity of it being a business. So because a lot of people were not, I mean, in a curious way. And the way that this business is traditionally run, like I don't know, you have to remember, even the oldest, what manufacturers or vendors have only been around for like 50 years. So because people weren't talking about the things I wanted to talk about, or I started learning interesting things, switching from the way that lubricants kind of, being made in the US work compared to somebody like Reckitt, Van Kaiser, taking over and acquiring Durex and how they manage that sort of product. It's very different. So I started talking to the ether, and people start coming and commenting and engaging. So I keep doing it. Excuse me. So thank you very much. That's today. And because we're real life people, even though the show's called Tuesdays with Tori, I'm aware it's Wednesday. So in the spirit of being transparent and vulnerable, I had asked Josh, I was like, you know what? There's so many things we could talk about. Business is going crazy. We could get into like product niches. Josh is wonderful. He's a sex educator, and he's been helping me with some of like the questions that's been kind of, who would have thought I needed to have a sex education degree? I don't. So, I call in the experts to answer some of these questions that were coming up because it's not easy information. So today, I'm going to give Josh a minute because he's awesome. Kind of talk about how I grabbed you in here and what brought you to the business. And I'll do my little why I think it's also important for anybody out there that's maybe not a business owner, but it's like working on the floor in retail or doesn't have a team or whatever. It's not just burnout in yourself, but recognizing what burnout might look like maybe in your employees, right? Because that's one way to ruin your business, guaranteed. Okay. That being said, Josh, what's up? How did I rope you into this? What's all your amazingness that if people don't know who you are?
So I'm Josh. Hello, hi. I'm the TheDadBodDom, and I am a brand ambassador and the sex educator for the leading hardcore kink and fetish brand, which I'm really down for. My role and my passion and my calling has always been to teach and to impart knowledge. As like a person on the spectrum, all I do is just absorb so many useless pieces of knowledge, and I just happen to turn that into a 15-year career. um, and I think this particular topic is one that, you're right, not a lot of people are wanting to talk about. They don't want to seem unappreciative, or they don't want to seem, um, because when we hear burnout, we assume we're burnt out with our company, and that's not the case. That's not always the case. I can tell you that's not the case with me. So, a lot of times folks are afraid to kind of talk about the emotional toll back and forth. um, that comes with being such a public face in our industry. Um, so when I decided to really uh, open up my mouth, which was probably, I don't know, 9 years ago is when I came out professionally. Now I've been, I'm a very old transsexual, right? I was trans before we all thought it meant transmission or that Siberian orchestra.
Transaction?
Exactly. Oh my God, you can't trust me. I'm a 42-year-old dad, okay? You cannot trust me in an auto zone in the transmission section. There's this stuff, and I don't know shit about shit, right? But there's this stuff. It's this red goop in a bottle, and it's called tranny honey. And it
Hmm.
says it'll make your tranny purr. And quite frankly, I'd like to sue because I feel entitled to compensation. Number one, how do I use it?
I feel entitled to go.
Number two, why
Where's
am I
the
not
clinicals on
purring?
this, sir?
So I cannot be trusted. Like every Christmas, my family knows the second the Trans Siberia Orchestra comes on, it starts bubbling, right? The ain't no way. And they're like,
They're like, oh goodness.
ain't no
Oh,
way they're all
oh,
trans. Not one of
oh.
them, ain't no way. But I think a lot of people are afraid to talk about burnout and mental health. And one of the things that I committed to doing when I did come out and start living a more public life is to live that public life as authentically as possible. And that means the ups and the downs. Because if you only see the ups, that really sets an unrealistic expectation for everyone else because they're like, damn, this motherfucker doing good all the time, and I'm here struggling or barely holding my head above water or whatever it is.
Right, going back
And
to you don't want someone to feel unappreciative. I know I never do, or like, oh, now I'm being just a big whiny baby. I'm not, but
Well,
I'm struggling with how to process all of it.
right, right. And there's ways to struggle. There's ways to be an ally to someone struggling, and there's ways to not be a fucking dick to somebody struggling. There's a lot of different
Is that the name of our next show? I always
I don't
joke
know.
about like making you be like we need to do something and be like don't be a dick.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it's just stories of the industry of like, well, let's look at it from this perspective, and then you would have this perspective. We've like, well, but also just don't be a dick.
Yep. Also, just don't be a dick because I will remember. But
Well, Josh,
that's really, I mean, I think so many of us are feeling the same thing. I know I see it and hear it among some of my closest friends and closest colleagues, but we're not able to speak about it. And it's not because, again, of our companies, it's because of the culture that's been created. And that's a hard culture to navigate.
well, and it almost gets even harder when, again, welcome to my therapy session with Josh. I did put that in one of the posts. I was like, you know what? I just need to talk about this. If we need to be the people, and thanks for appeasing my silly little head, Josh. I was like, if I have to be the person that says, I'm tired, right? I'm not unappreciative. I love my job. I'm excited where the industry is going, how we can elevate it. But the world has also changed a lot. I know I'm definitely not the same person I was pre 2020, right? And our businesses aren't the same.
Mm.
So if we have to be the ones to tell you you're not crazy, or maybe you're crazy, but you can be crazy with us, we're tired, we're burnt out. And just
Hmm.
like mental health is like a taboo, we sell taboo products every day. So I don't know, maybe I'm taking it a little too whatever, gladiator-ish. Welcome to Libra in 2025. But this is also something important that I feel we need to pick up the mantle for, because not only are you already kind of like the pleasure advocates, so to speak, whether or not you're, a manufacturer or a distributor, or, someone owning the store, the items that you carry do depend on your business right now, right? So
Right.
just being aware of sort of those signs, you're already kind of doing it. Why like, let's be the advocate for mental health. We're already in the world of taboo. Can you
Right.
imagine how much, like, I don't know, influence that it does give us sometimes.
I love us. I
I
really
love that
do.
I don't speak English and I'm like in my head thinking about
Same.
our other show, like, just don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
It's we've created, and I know, like, I have your notes because I even
I know I
printed
do
them
kind of
this
want to
time.
maybe for me to clip it in a reel later. I do want to introduce, like, I wrote some funny things because I was in a mood, where Josh is or introducing today's guest, and I'm like, and today's guest, a legend,
Oh my
right?
God, I love you so
It's pretty
much.
good. So at least I
Oh,
should say it
absolutely.
later, right?
Yes. Yes, you're the best. I love you. Um, I think what it is there's a lot of burnout. There's a lot of unintentional burnout that comes from miscommunication and not necessarily a true slight, right? Like, one of the things as I've gotten old and crusty that I've learned to ask myself before I react to anger, is this slight actual or is it perceived? Is this something somebody's
Interesting.
truly done to fuck me up? Or am I a little annoyed about something else and this is what I'm taking it out on, right? Is this actual or perceived? So when we think about burnout, or how some of our staff, or whether it's from our retail partners to our manufacturing partners, how they show that differently, because every level of the industry is going to show it in a different way. The the sales reps are going to show it one way. Those of us that are the faces, the ones that folks look at, are going to show it another. Folks in the warehouse, folks in retail stores are all going to show it in different ways. And it's important to realize why. It's not that we have a hard time keeping people. Folks never, well, I'm going to say folks rarely leave a good job, but they always leave a bad manager and a bad culture.
100%.
So just
I'm like,
marinate.
I don't know, for the cheap seats in the back. Right. Why
That
would
was
checking
my
in?
say, Drake. I hear you liking me.
Oh,
You know, I had to bring that up sometime.
I like it. I like it. Side note, I guess we all get to wear our bell bottom flare jeans again. The 90s are
I need
back.
to
I'm
find
excited.
out where he got those because the way
Right.
they fit, chef's
Yeah.
kiss.
Like out of the back of, Lisa Frank's closet or something. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. I was like, oh my God, I'm 21 again, even though in my head I'm still 21. Right.
Right. I am until I hear my ankles crack. And then I'm like, oh, you're old, old. Okay, got it. Cool.
Yes. So it's important. If you guys are I see some people just popping back on, swooping on in. Tori and Josh are burnt, and we're going to talk about it. Talking about why it matters to a business owner or any retailers to look out for any signs of burnout, and just understanding that typically 9 times out of 10, if someone is, maybe not performing or is being, I don't know, if something's going on, 9 times out of 10, it's not about you. It's things have piled on top of things. And a lot of people either don't have the self-awareness, don't have the words, or, they just don't know what they don't know. But usually it's not about you. It's always about what's going on internally for most people.
Right.
At least
Right.
that's what this book said. I started reading it.
It's honestly, it is, because one of the things that I've learned, again, as I've gotten old and crusty, um, is that people, humanity in general, seek validation. And we could not give a fuck. Like, I truly don't give a fuck what people that I don't know think about me. Couldn't care less. I truly don't give a fuck about what a good majority of our colleagues think about me. What I do give a fuck about is how my employer, my family, my partners, uh, my friends, my community, those that know me intimately, truly
Yes.
know how I am as a person, right? I think we've gotten to a place where saying, we're depressed or we're anxious or we're struggling with maybe a mental health issue that wasn't diagnosed. I was very late in life diagnosed as ADHD, so ADHD and autistic, because as a girl in 1982, I couldn't be either of those things, of course.
I
So
think you were one of the ones. What? I just got my diagnosis like 2.5 years ago, and you're like, "Oh, you didn't know? Welcome!" Like,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like,
Like I
"Hey, I
thought you
knew,
knew this whole time.
but I didn't know." Right? It's like
Yeah.
actually getting that diagnosis on paper. I just assumed everything was, hey, one of the signs of my burnout is when things are constantly run on anxiety. Right? It's like the performance of this, that, and the other, which brings me to like one of my second points of why does any of this matter to a retail business owner, Tori?
So
If
much.
you
It
have a
matters
burnt
so
out
much.
individual or you yourself are burnt out, Josh, does that make for a great customer experience? I'm not sure.
So no, it fucking doesn't. And I spend a lot of time in retail stores, right? I spend a lot of time with our retail partners, and I do see burnout. And again, the burnout rarely comes from, the job itself as much as it comes from compounding issues, right? We all have things going on in our personal lives. We all have things that are going on in um our intimate lives, personal lives, family, just personal stressors, financial, whatever it is, compounded with maybe not feeling appreciated, maybe not getting validation that you so desperately need. However, if we don't communicate that this is something we need, it's not going to be known. And granted, it's not everyone's job to hold my face and tell me I'm pretty, but I've
But this isn't
communicated.
this isn't a romance novel where people just automatically want to break down my walls and can and listen to my head. Yeah.
Exactly right. I'm automatically not. Do I not have a mating bond to my vape? Is that what you're
Yeah,
here to tell me
right.
that I'm
A
not?
100%, right? You should just be able to know. You get some sort of spidey sense,
Right.
right?
Little
Right?
tingle. So, like for
I mean,
example,
you're expecting me to communicate, which I know has been a huge thing for me. Just in my own mental health journey in the last 5 years was how important it is to. It's going to sound like being a kindergartner. How important it is to identify your feelings, and I'm not just talking like I'm happy, I'm sad. There's a complexity of the emotions, and truly identifying them and being able to name them, at least for me, had been a great stepping stone into not giving that feeling power anymore.
mhm, the word happy, sad, angry, whatever, that is the fruit, the flower, right? But the actual root of that plant is the emotion from which it stems. So jealousy can stem out into, anger and sadness, and I'm sad and I'm mad. But if we don't actually dig out the root of it, right? And a lot of these, especially on a retail sense, these folks don't have the easiest gig in the world, Joe. I have been in so many retail stores and have heard so many stories about how these retail partners that are just going in to do their fucking job are getting called 10 times a day by some pervert or some weirdo, or they're getting really inappropriate conduct happen in their store or around their store, or
There's
they've
already
got.
additional hurdles, and it's
Right.
hard for stores to get the normal resources people expect.
Right. And sometimes what we fail at is really verbalizing what we need. Um, I have no problem reaching out. Like if I need some reassurance from my boss. Now we've been together almost 7 years at this point, but I told her very early I'm batshit
I
bonkers.
love Mrs. President.
I love her with everything. But if I tell her early, hey, listen, I'm feeling a little Willy Wonka right now. I'm gonna need some reassurance here. I'm feeling a little unsteady. Then she can provide that. But if she doesn't know I'm feeling that, I can continue to feel it and fester, or I can choose to verbalize that this is what I'm needing. And if you're finding you're in a situation where professionally there, you are not free to do that and express that in a way where someone's going to listen and take it seriously, then it's time to find. There's going to be
Yeah.
another adult store in your
It's time to
town.
call Tori and Josh. I
Mhm.
will fluff up your resume, and Josh will give you a like hype man speech. Go get him. Help you with whatever phone number you
Yeah.
need, because I mean that's how I even got this job with with the condoms, right? I had 2 weeks to get health insurance for my family. Layoffs happen. It's business, right? And it was the people like you guys that were all like, hey, go be a sad bitch later. You got 2 weeks. What number do you need? Chop, chop. Let's go.
Yep.
And hi, mama.
Hi, baby. My Cherie.
So yeah, it's, and I understand everybody works for a living. We don't do stuff for free. I mean, except like this right now, but that's a different
Please
situation.
know we love you because this is not paid. My salary stops at 5:01 p.m. Carry on.
Yeah, I sell condoms. I don't make any money anyways. I'm moving across the country just to make my paycheck work. No, it'll
There
be
you
fun.
go.
Everyone's going to come see me at the lake. It's going to be great. But another point I wanted to make sure, we love you, Cherie, that we kind of mentioned and why it's important to understand this stuff is we had mentioned a few things, right? We're crazy, and I'm feeling that there's some industry change. And we've been talking a lot, or I know I've been talking a lot in the last 2 years with everybody about navigating that change. So um, here to validate that there's a change, guys. I said it. I don't know where that's going. I have no crystal ball. If you have my crystal ball, anybody, please send it back. But so whether it's like legislation we're going to be looking at here soon, social stigma, some of the just extra hurdles that Josh mentions, where there's like difficult customers and or it's hard to get those resources, not just for your mental well-being, but just typical HR or business references. It is hard to do. So making sure that your team is taken care of, right? Like if that's like your flock almost of sheep, it's a lot easier to navigate the flock if or the boat, right? If they're all rowing in the same direction already. So if you're not already checking in on your people as a leader, right? Not only do you need to make sure that you're looking within, that's a huge shift in leadership, and that's a different conversation. But also make sure that if change is on the horizon, you need to do what Josh just mentioned. Come to your people and be like, "Hi, I'm going through some change right now. So I don't want you to perceive like poor performance or, and I know on the other side of being a leader, it's like, I can't fix it if I don't know. Right.
Sure.
How many times do people have to like text me from the bathroom being like, oh my goodness, dinner budget went over. I didn't know they were going to, A, B, and C, bring these people or whatever. I'm like, it's good. At least now I know about it. We can shift. So it's
Right.
a lot easier to shift when everybody's not just on the same page, but like mentally on the same page. And it's, you can't just expect people to come out the gate and trust you with that vulnerability. Unfortunately, we still have caveman brains.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We absolutely do. And there is so much change. And I think the people that comprise our industry are the very definition of DEI, right? They're so, especially on the retail front, these are alternative lifestyle folks. We've got queer folk and poly folk and folks in the BDSM, dom or subspace demographic or lifestyle. We've got folks that come from all walks of life, from people that were from high tech careers, wanted something that was in a totally different field. Hello, that's how I started. Or somebody that is working their way up from other types of retail towards educator. I believe that everyone is going to experience some version, right, some semblance of it. But with all of these changes, not just in our industry, and it's palpable.
Yeah,
Okay, there are
I
changes.
talk. I have talked to some other businesses, right? They might not
Mhm.
be, valid here, but again, it doesn't seem like it's just us.
No, there are changes in our industry, and that is no secret. There are going to be changes when it comes to things like tariffs for a manufacturer. I can tell you, I'm pretty stressed about that. Um, there's
Condoms are
gonna,
not made in China. Condoms are not
thank
made in
God,
China. I know.
thank
Thank
God,
goodness. We might have something to protect the world from syphilis here
Jesus
soon. I
Christ.
digress.
So, when we think about things that are politically maybe not going in our favor, as a queer person of color, I'm not feeling my safest in the Midwest. Um, but also navigating what now is changing our right to, right? So many states, including Oklahoma, where I live, you can't access Pornhub anymore. There are so many southern states that have taken away the ability to access pornography. And I'm not talking
Well, I
about
think you can, but you have
illicit.
to put in your driver's license number and all
Correct.
these other shenanigans, which,
Correct.
you know, if you're trying to make business on the impulse of people, that's not going to happen. Okay.
Or you just pay for NordVPN.
There's that. Or,
Anyway,
you know,
so
what is it? The ethical porn. There you go.
Mhm.
You can pay for the porn for the people that we know, you know, have health insurance when they sign these papers, and that, you know, that they've been verified over 18, and everybody in that scene has consented.
Absolutely,
Just
absolutely.
saying, just saying. We
Support
have like
your,
adult video empire. Chelsea, someone will help you if you need help.
yeah, absolutely. So while we're navigating all these changes and wondering what it means for us, not only for us as an industry, but for us as the individual components of an industry. What does it mean for manufacturers? What does that mean for distributors, for buyers, for the people trying to sell these products to their customers whose pockets look very different? Um, while we're also navigating uncertainty personally, possibly. Um, Maybe a conflict of morality or ethics with what's currently happening in the administration. And what I can tell you is every 4 years, half of the country's pissed off and the other half is happy. That's the way it works. But the 50% that are pissed off right now, a good majority of them call our industry home. And these people are also feeling burnout. Young queer folk, your retail young queer folk are exhausted. Your old elder queer folk, hello again. We're exhausted because we're not just bearing the burdens of our companies, we're bearing the burdens of our communities. And that is exhausting. It's important to create a culture in which your staff, back to the retail side, feel prioritized. I'm not saying a participation trophy for everyone, so calm down with your boomer
No, nobody
ass.
needs, yeah, and no
Right.
one, I'm assuming, wants to be like tokenized, at least in my own lived experience, being
Absolutely.
tokenized
Do
because
not.
I am a mother, right? And
Right.
straight is, you know, for me, not like, you know, just that's a different episode. But
Right. But
yes,
I think as a store owner, if you're noticing the signs of burnout for your retail staff, right? If you're noticing that you've got members that are calling in and they're calling in more often than they have previously, or it becomes a pattern on certain days they're calling in and it's not a scheduling issue, not like my kid's daycare changed, whatever. They're burnt out. If you notice their sales have dropped, if you look in the cameras and they're more behind the cash wrap, it doesn't mean they don't care. It means they're tired. And what you need when you're tired is a pick me up. So that doesn't, I will, Sherry, thank you, my love. That doesn't, while we all love a good pizza party, okay, that's not what's truly boosting morale. What's going to boost morale is their manager coming in every single day and taking 5 minutes and saying, hey, how are you?
you got
How's
to
your
check on
day?
your kids, check on your
Right,
rowboat,
right. Actually giving a fuck. Asking
and maybe knowing how to
is
row
there
your
any
boat too, and not just expecting people to do it. I'm not sure. I'm not
hmm
sure.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's where, exactly.
Just for anybody that's on audio only, because in my head, I am going to put this on Spotify sometime. The question coming in for Mr. Josh here is, can you say more about how best we can support you or one another in this industry?
Absolutely.
And she
So
goes, that part.
I love Shuri. So the way you can support somebody that's experiencing burnout, whether it's from this industry, I love you, Monica bitch,
I
or
know. What
somebody
road ambassador or badass bitch ambassador of the year, Miss
badass
Nicole
bitch,
Talley,
badass
commenting on my
bitch.
stream. Everybody, thank you.
I love her. I know her, you guys. I know her.
Oh my god. And
Yeah,
Cherie's reminding us that there's a huge value leaning in into our community, our circle of trust, and that's
absolutely.
and that's why the show keeps going. It's been like 2 years now, and I know
Mhm.
it's not like not exploded or whatever, but it keeps being useful for someone, so it keeps having
Absolutely.
life.
So, I mean, the way to really support folk, right, on a retail level, if you truly, now I'm talking to retail owners now about this part, decision makers for your retail staff. You truly want to help the burnout, look up your inflation rate in your state and then give them that percent of a raise. I know it seems impossible. It's not. Raise the prices of the dildos a couple of bucks, but taking that pressure off, maybe taking off a huge underlying pressure that's causing them to perform under burnout capabilities, right? Instead of full potential because they are so overwhelmed or overcome or because this is their third job. That's something real. When it comes to uh, folks in our industry, I think it's important to remember, um, we see each other January, March, sometimes April, July. We see each other at trade shows and at events, and on social media, but we also need to make sure that we're checking in. And I am the worst person to respond back because I am so violently overwhelmed at all times. But to know that somebody gives a fuck sometimes can change your entire day, whether you have the spoons to respond or not. To be there for someone that is, in general, feeling unsteady, it's about offering your hand and offering your back, right? So, what I can't do is I can't help you feel like you're not wading through pea soup and cement blocks because I feel the same way. But what I can do is I could extend my hand and take yours, and you could take mine, and we can steady ourselves. What I can do is offer you my back and you offer me yours. So that way, when we have to rest, we have somewhere to lean on that's safe. It's important to really look into your circle and make it smaller, right? Think of, like, God, to go biblically, like the Holy of Holies. That not everyone, people that aren't cheering you on actively are not, they're not giving bestie.
They're
Okay.
going to need a minute with their feelings.
Right. So
With
people
it,
that aren't
stupid
cheering you on
games, stupid
actively.
prizers, small-minded, right? Which is
Exactly.
hard. I'm reading a different book. Haha, you're surprised. And it's just kind of going through the concept of not like if someone has, let's just say, emotional immaturity, being okay as an adult and not a child, realizing that, again, it didn't have anything to do with you. That person lacks the skills to do that, right?
Right.
So it's the self-awareness and the breaking of the cycle, similarly to what we're doing in some of the taboo we're talking about with mental illness.
Sometimes people are put on this earth to not evolve and to show you what that looks like. And I've learned that I can't expect everybody to be energetically on the same vibration or wavelength, or even have the same passion in life to grow, to learn, to advance. Um,
I remember that kind of exploded my mind when I was like, I don't know, young adult or later teens, early 20s, where it was just like, oh, not everybody is going to work the way that I'm going to work.
right.
And that's okay.
hmm And
Um,
sometimes that means we outgrow people, and we outgrow people. We go through growing pains as adults too. We outgrow friends, and sometimes best friends, close friends, people we've known for decades.
family.
But yep, but we grow further. We outgrow. And we need to be able to make sure that in that growth, as our garden expands, we're keeping other flowers and not allowing weeds to embed. So if you've done something that's big for you, and you tell someone that you consider as a great friend about this thing that you've done that you feel is big news for you, and they don't act excited for you, they're not cheering you on, then just cut the fat now. Be done with it.
I've
Because they're
started
going to
mentally
continue
putting
to that way.
people in, I think it's an old Tupac quote, actually. Welcome back to the 90s that I remembered, where he's talking about how he wants to see people eat, but just not at his table. Right. So I've
Right.
literally taken that visualization almost. Of course, it's a table in a castle because I am me. But right, like I have my table. And I'm happy at my table, but also some people that, were in my life and maybe we just don't sync the same. I still want them to eat, but my table only has so much food.
You just can't sit with me. And that's okay, but you can still sit. That just means we can't sit together. That's where
Yeah.
boundaries come in. And I think
Oh, which I'm learning more.
the biggest issue in setting boundaries is we have to stop with this always available culture.
Especially in sales, at least from my experience. There's something
Yes,
about like, oh,
sales.
go close the sale. They're gonna
And
call you
in our
whenever. Oh, go do it.
industry, also, this is a very intimate industry with different boundaries and very blurred lines. We need to make it a point to realize that, hey, we're people. And I understand when Josh from XR comes into a location, I sprinkle the Riz and the razzmatazz, but I'm also 42. And I also have 4 autoimmune diseases. And I'm very sick. And I also have a family and a mortgage and a partner and an RV in my backyard to take
Yeah,
care
all
of.
the adult responsibilities
Right.
that come with
And
it.
I also am navigating my own healing journey through trauma and through mental health and through, reading, forgiving what you can't forget, and all of the things that come with growth. And that mentality of always needing to be available is what creates, I would say, upwards of 80% or more, even conservatively, of our burnout. Because nothing chaps my asshole more than like 8:30 at night. I finally sit down for, because I am an anxious person. I sit when I work. I actually have a standing desk when I'm standing, but I don't sit down to eat. Once I wake up, I sit to work, and I don't sit down again until I'm ready to go to bed. And if
Yeah.
I finally sit at 8:30 to watch a show and an email comes through or someone messages me on Facebook, something work related, and then texts me like, "Hey, I messaged you." Okay, thank you. That little green light, that little light that shows I'm online is not a porch light. It doesn't mean come and ring my bell for candy on Halloween. It means I'm probably taking a shit and just opening up my phone for a second. It doesn't mean I want to talk.
Yeah.
That always having to be available is hard. And that's where, dare I say it, some of these social media groups, even in our industry, become hard.
Right.
Um,
There's a there's a pro and a con to everything, especially with technology.
Yeah, because you're meant to, nothing feels better than waking up on a Saturday morning to cook your family breakfast and realize that all of Friday night you were being roasted about something you had nothing to do with. So I think, let me see,
And
Cherie
then realizing
says,
you're the poor admin that's like, oh shit, I better go back and delete all that stuff because I was
exactly.
sleeping.
Right.
Um,
So Cherie says, I think sometimes because we love our job so much and are committed, it's easy to put ourselves on the back burner. Burn being the key word, burn out, but you ain't lying. I want to sometimes rot on the couch with my book cat and not give a fuck. And also, same,
and yeah,
same.
right. Here's rotting.
Yeah, same. Uh, the
Josh has the rest of the show now.
that's it. We're done. And
Okay,
honestly,
bye.
that's the absolute truth. And it's not, again, I am not burnt out with my job or my company. I'm burnt out as a human being because there's only so much we can give. So when I'm doing coffee talks and I'm doing screw taboos, I can tell you there's a good hour of like before I go live because I don't want to do it. And that's the God's honest truth. It's not that I don't love doing it, it's that your boy's exhausted.
No, and
It's
seriously,
that,
even just for me yesterday, I was like, you know what? There's something in the air. It was tough for me. Even that morning,
right,
I was talking with Mama Dragon, and I was like, it's a day where I just don't want it. It's a
right,
day where I wish I never started the podcast because I'm not feeling it. But like, right,
right.
it was just a minute. But right, the whole concept of your thoughts affect your emotions, right? It was kind of like, okay, I needed to verbally process it and then remember
Yep.
why I'm doing it. Like, okay, well,
I
I've made a
feel that
commitment to the
way
people.
with the monthly editorial, right? With the Dear Dad
Oh,
Bod Dom.
yeah. No joke.
So,
I keep wanting to
Dear
pick your brain about that one day. I'm like, how do you
Dear
come up
Dad Bod Dom is in
every month?
Expiz every month, Store Erotica every other, and now it's going to be in Synergy and in Pulse in the EU.
Woo!
So, thank you. So, with that
Dude,
being
that's
said,
badass.
thank you. With that being said, every publication is going to get its own article. So nobody's competing. So now that means going from writing 2 articles to writing for. Does it mean that I don't have the content to write about? No, of course I do. Does it mean that I hate writing? No, I fucking love it. Does it mean that I want to do it right now? No. And I'm going to push that deadline to the wall. It ain't going to be able to move, but I'm going to make it. Okay. Like, because, and it's not that I don't want to do it. It's that we're tired. We're tired of navigating the changes. We're tired of always having to be on.
There
Because
is
again,
the
when
mental load that people don't see, right? Because
they don't see.
similarly, if I'm making a launch package, I have to make the proposal for my supplier, and then I have to get approvals, right? Then I have to, give the executive directive to Chris so he knows what the hell's going on. Then I have to translate that into something that works for my distributors, that then have something that will work for those wholesalers. And then I still have to have a message of my own to the wholesalers that agrees with the end consumer.
Right. And I think a lot of times from the retail associate level to the manufacturing executive level, folks think our job is super fun. And it is. We do have a blast, but also it's really hard too.
Has anyone ever done just a minute of event coordination? Like herding all of those cats all the time times 10 is
Mhm.
usually our job. And I'm
Yep.
not just talking like in like going on the road or trade shows or whatever. It's just having to get all these people, whether they're with you in the office or remotely, like to row in the same direction.
Mhm. Absolutely. It's impossible and it's exhausting. And there are reports and there are uh, complaints and there are changes in product and there are meetings that we have. So many goddamn meetings. And when you're just recovering from one trade show, boom, there's another, and shit, I got to make sure that I unpack my suitcase in time. And there are some fun parts, there are exhausting parts, but I think what we're most burnt out with, and the reason for the burnout, is we are mistaking self-care as excuse me, we're mistaking what truly is aftercare and calling it self-care. uh
Okay.
Aftercare in kink terminology is a restoration. It's a making right. So aftercare in kink means if I spend 30 minutes beating your ass, I'm going to spend 31 minutes rubbing Tantus after spanking cream on it. A
It's the
sunburn
best.
aloe gel,
Jesus.
right?
Yep.
Rubbing, that's my shit. Leather
Oh my God, it
scented.
smells so good.
It does. Rubbing a cooling gel or using one of them little, like, those little stone rollies over wherever the
Kind of
marks
like,
are.
I always say the universe is gonna, or you reap what you sow, right? You got to put in
Right.
some energy. Like, even if you're just searching for a job, I swear you're not, like, just calling your friend and saying, I need to get ready to find a job. It just helps put that energy into the universe so that, like, maybe you just send one resume, right?
Right. Exactly. So we're doing things that are self-care is what we're calling them, but they're truly aftercare, which is meant to be restorative. So in kink, like I said, aftercare is restorative, and it is, at the least, should better be a minute longer than you have been in a situation of discomfort. So here we are, right?
That's a
And
good
I'm
rule.
guilty
Is it
as
written
fuck of
down
it.
somewhere? I love it.
It needs to be.
I
So
know.
for for me, for my dumbass, I will be on the road for 10 days, nonstop, no days off, driving state to state, but I'll pack a face mask.
Because anxiety on or off.
Right,
That's it.
right.
That's it.
So
I
then,
get, yeah, yeah.
I'll end my last training one day at 3 o'clock and then be able to get to my Marriott before dinner time. And I'll put on a face mask and be like, self-care. Meanwhile, I look like fucking like a house elf because I'm shriveled up, dehydrated, living off of Love's taquitos and Red Bulls. And it's not truly self-care. It's aftercare. So
I
we need
love
to
I love that
move.
because I
Yeah.
think you just nailed like what I've been struggling to say in this analogy. Like, I'm gonna click
Mhm.
the hell out of this shit. Like, I again probably talking to our mutual mentor, but it was like, the yes, self-care is putting on a mask or painting my nails,
Yeah.
making sure, but like, no, the self-care that I need to focus on is I have to go to the gym or I'm a crazy person. And it's not like a vanity thing. It's my brain needs that time to zone out to music or whatever and have methodical movement, and my muscles need to move, or, my brain can't make its own dopamine and the same, what is it? Endorphins. So it's like,
Right.
I need it for my health more than, I guess it's because we're old now, right? So it's like, yes, all of that
Right.
self-care, but self-care is really like the shitty stuff, right? Like you have to
Right.
sleep, you have to go to the doctor, you have to
You
drink the
have to eat
water,
right.
you have to
Right.
eat
Exactly.
right. You
An
can't drink like
emotional
all the
support.
alcohol or all the
Right.
caffeine, like that whole
Exactly.
balance bullshit.
Balance bullshit. Exactly what it is.
Or
And
go
we
to your
also need
therapist, you got
to
to journal. Like that's the stuff I put off, and
we
it's the
need to
most
set
important.
time intentionally for ourselves, because I know that's something I am working very hard on and I am still failing miserably at, but working hard on to, like,
I
on
won't let
my
you give up if
days
you don't let
off.
me give up. See, there you go.
That's it.
Pinky
On
promises.
my days off, actually being off, but of course not. I'm a Midwest dad, so I'm, outside fixing a garden hose and, like, is this snow? Like, I'm, I have my list of to
Well,
dos.
right. And that's another episode. It was like, if I feel like our gas tank is whatever, a loaf of bread, right? And you go to a trade show and you're like, I have all these pieces, but you forgot to allocate pieces for when you freaking came home and have to
Right.
like, hi, the laundry and the dishes are still there. And your kids want to talk to you. And my youngest
And
is
I'm just
turning,
holding one butt of bread that I've already eaten half of.
yeah. And you're like,
And I'm
and
like,
now it's yours, baby girl. Like I haven't taken care of myself or whatever, because my
shut
8-year-old
up.
likes to talk as much as me. So
Right.
here we are.
And a lot of folks don't realize that. So even my personal routine when I come home, regardless of how long I've been gone, I have 4 dogs and 2 cats. My 2 cats could give a fuck. My dogs, though, and they're big. The largest is teetering close to around 140 pounds. They're big. So no matter how tired I am, there are days I've driven for 12 or 13 hours and just got home, or I had a 15-hour travel day and just got home and I am in
Ugh,
pain and
I'm exhausted for
I'm
you.
still in the clothes that I trained in my dress shoes, but
It's a
before I
lot.
even change, before anything, the dogs come out, right? We rotate because dad's home. So now we've got to switch gears from being on in one way to being on in another,
Yep.
because we still have responsibilities. Just the way teaching to me is my ministry, family to me and being a father and being a partner is my ministry.
And
So
the
being able to,
household moved on without you. So your partner
right,
had to pick up your slack. So it's not like you can be like, I mean, thankfully Ryan is always great, because
yeah,
it's like no, like mom needs a whole day. She'll come back, but she
so,
like needs a day to decompress. But not everybody can do that. Sorry, I have
right.
Nathan's up. I'm sorry, Nathan, that you feel this right now, but you
I
can get
think a
burnt out
lot
with
of us
us.
do. And Nathan, I'm really proud of
Get
you
a
for
hoodie.
acknowledging it, because I know Nathan especially does a lot of really great work for trans youth.
Oh, and he
Um,
does so much for just volunteering, and then he's helping me all the time, just slipping
yeah,
condoms in because he cares. He's like, every single store has them. Also, they're important, harm reduction, all that stuff. We love you,
he's
Nathan.
an amazing human being, and
Works really
sometimes
hard.
we forget that the strong ones are tired. And I think it's important to reach out to the ones that you think are the strongest, or the ones that are facing forward the most, because that means we're on the front lines. And that means that we're putting ourselves out and on so much more. And that's a weight that I can't describe. Um,
Yeah.
when I, because of legal things, I have to kind of change how I word
Oh
things.
yeah. No, no, no.
I went through a situation when I first got sober back in 2023, and it kind of affected my mental health in a big way. And um, I was not in a position to deliver fully what people expect when Josh from XR shows up. And my boss had actually reached out and was like, "Hey, are you okay? Because folks are asking me if you're good, because you're not the same." And
Hmm.
though I didn't, she understood, she knew what the situation was. Um, but there's not consideration for that on our front facing side, right? My company, my boss knew and supported, but
Yeah, because you did the right thing. You
right,
communicated with your person.
right.
So they knew to support you and have your back.
But because Josh wasn't on, there had to
Mm.
be a problem. And that's where we have that unrealistic expectation of kind of how we're supposed, like, we are all here. I'm 42 with Crohn's. If you call me, I'm probably taking a shit. I don't know what to tell you. I'm probably shitting. I'm probably standing in the kitchen forgetting why I went in there in the first place. Like, we're human beings with crazy minds and uh, a lot of responsibility. And this, again, goes all the way to our retail partners who are often working more than one job. If I had to work more than one gig, there's no way that I can't do it. I can't do
I
it.
hate to tell you, we've just put it all on one umbrella, calling it sexual education, but you work in many jobs, my friend.
Yeah, I really am. Uh,
I'm
I'm
sorry,
just
I didn't mean to burst that bubble. I didn't. My bad. My
listen.
bad.
That's just been burst for. It's even dried up at
That
this
was
point.
rude. I'm
No, I
sorry.
love it. I love
Um,
it. It's honestly, it's you right. Uh,
you're right. You're right. Real
you
quick,
right.
Nathan says we're so sweet,
I
and
love it.
Mama Cherie was mentioning, and I do love this. So if other people have this option or someone in their life, it's actually been a lifesaver, and I'm not kidding. For the last like 2 years, Cherie will let me go to her place, and we just rot on the couch for a minute. But as those like ping, 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 oh, I met this person, or maybe there's a lead there, right? As those, my ADD brain connects the dots with my ADD dragon mentor. It's like been the best to download it and then come home and be like half of a person then.
Right, right. Having that time to decompress is gonna help with burnout, and if folks in our industry aren't either providing that time for themselves or they don't have that time or freedom provided by the company employing them, it's important to find time. If we take a moment and find something that sparks joy, and I don't mean make us happy, there's a difference between happiness and joy. Um, One of my goals as I was navigating this traumatic event in my life after I got sober was just to be happy again. And my therapist and I had a really good conversation about changing that mentality to actually find joy again, because happiness is dependent on something where joy is not. For example, I am happy that my pets are healthy. I am happy that there's food in my fridge for when I'm done here. I'm happy that, my lights are on. I'm happy that my truck has gas in it. These are all things I'm happy. I'm happy about Kendrick Lamar's performance at the Super Bowl half. I'm
And
happy.
his
I'm happy.
jeans.
Right. Oh God, those genes. But these are all things I'm happy about. Meaning, if one of my dogs gets sick, I'm not going to be happy anymore. But if we look for things that bring us joy, for me, it's a double yolked egg. I swear to God, a
You
double
love
yolked
those.
egg.
You love those. I remember. Yeah.
I love them so much. There's one tattooed on my left ass cheek, and they are passing a blunt back and forth. They sure are. Um,
I love a treasure hunt for
yep,
a sprayed edge book, and definitely if it's sprayed edge and signed.
yep,
It's like
absolutely.
the hunt is
So,
almost more fun than having the treasure.
so we find things if we find things that spark joy, whether it's getting a couple of house plants or whether something that makes you like, oh, that's a new leaf, yay. That's organic joy. It's a lot easier to manage the bad things if we find something, one thing a day that we can be joyful about, not happy, because happy depends on something. Joy is organic.
I love that.
Does that
I
make
need to,
sense?
I'll record it. I'm going to write it out later and be
Right.
like, Josh Ortiz. Yeah, put it on your website. Or we need
There
to
you go.
make you a website. We're going to figure this out.
Yeah, because
That
I
was
don't know how they're
brilliant.
doing that.
We're going to figure it out
Yep.
someday. Okay. I'm loving all of this. And I started this cute little thing for a wrap up, or at least I think it's cute, where, for the clickbait and people can get to know you, even though they know you. I'm doing rapid fire questions
Here
because
for it.
the clickbait. Okay. Are you going to be ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. Ready? One. If you could only pick one pleasure product to use forever, what is it?
It's gonna be And it's not even a plug, but it's going to be the Master Series brand new Thunder Wand. It's currently strongest on the market with 11,000 RPM. And the only reason it's that one, it's because it's also really great on my neck and shoulders. So
I mean,
multi-purpose.
and it's rapid
I
fire. You don't have
love a
time. It's like
boggin.
whatever's the first on your head. Perfect.
I love
That's
a
great.
boggin. So that's the first thing that came to my head. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay. This one, you ready? It's gonna be fun. Worst sex education myth you've ever heard. I'm sure you have a lot, but what's top on your head?
Women pee out of their vagina, blue balls are real, and your condoms are too big for me.
Yep, yep, yep.
Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
Yep.
Kink you think that is criminally underrated?
Criminally underrated kink, I'm going to say, is going to be true bondage, like shibari rope, as well as control in a soft way,
I was gonna say
like
soft dom vibes.
soft
Like
on
in
pleasure
my
dom
smutty
vibe.
books, he's gonna boss her around. He's gonna choke her a little bit because she has to stay hydrated. Drink your water.
Soft dom pleasure doms are underrated. I mean, folks are
And
like,
this is
what
why
is a
Josh
pleasure?
brings me water when he's
Yeah,
getting water because
folks
he
are like,
knows.
what is a pleasure dom? I'm like, well, our job is to not only tell you what to do, but also make you forget that you have a name. So that's it. Okay,
That's
bingo
all.
bang.
That's all.
So I
Okay.
think so.
No big deal. If you weren't in this industry, what would you be doing?
I would be a funeral director.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was a nurse
Yeah.
before, in the medical field before transition. Worked with geriatric psychiatry, old folks. I much prefer you when you're not here than when you are. Dead people don't talk back. They just groan funny, and that is strange.
And that's more
I
like
find
air.
beauty. Yeah, I find beauty in the transition from one life phase to the next. So I actually looked into mortuary science for years. So
That's beautiful.
I would be a weird mortician that had Instagram videos and answered questions about shit.
I love that. I
Yeah.
do sometimes when they pop up and like people ask like, well, do you put a bra on them when they get in? They're like, no, only if they give a bra with the outfit, right? I can stack them up nice if you need, right? I was like, that's
Yeah, we
very
can just
interesting.
duct tape them bitches aside and no one's gonna know.
Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah.
I probably would have been an Olympian swimmer, and then I probably would have injured myself because I did injure myself, and then didn't go to the Olympics and other things. But because I knew like, you can't be an Olympian forever. I mean, whatever. Michael Phelps is working on it, but in my head, I already knew that. So then, after I was done swimming, I was either going to take those skills and train Shamu because I thought that was going to be great, or I was going to try and be one of those badass bitches that like get to go into the locker rooms and like talk like
And ask
this.
questions while not looking at their faces. What do you think about the
Oh
game?
my God. I just realized I've been
It
like
was
such a perv my entire life. That's literally
it
what I
was
wanted to do.
sports ball, right? You got the ball in the
Like
sports,
total
right?
hockey romance. I just wanted to like walk in with everybody in their towels and no big deal.
Bunch of horror literature, bunch of horror
Oh
literature.
my God. Sorry,
I
hubby. I
blame
didn't
Sarah
know
J.
that.
Maas. I blame her.
Oh my
Continue.
goodness. Okay. Last one because this is too fun. You're stuck on an island. What are the three things you bring?
Marijuana seeds.
Just three of them. Just kidding. That's it.
Marijuana seeds, chapstick, and a knife. I always have knives on my person.
Like a hatchet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I can like gut a fish and then, but I pot seeds. Like I don't drink anymore, right? I don't need to bring potatoes to ferment into vodka, but pot seeds. Pot seeds for novelty use only.
I got a medical card. Okay.
Exactly.
I pay the Farmers Association or whoever, the Arizona Department of Safety. All right.
Exactly.
I do my things.
Bingo bango. I love that.
Oh goodness. Okay. Mama says, Josh, your Buddhist journey signs through in your offerings of Try This On. I'm so proud of you and your choice to be aware.
I love her.
Oh my gosh, she's the best, 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 best. And she says, well said. And she dead.
I
Whoops.
mean, like honestly, you would think like, I don't know, a hat to protect you from a
Yeah.
melanoma. Nope. Marijuana seeds.
I'm gonna bring
Because
a radio, a satellite phone or something.
I don't give a fuck about being found
I
as
need
long
a
as I
map.
have the seeds. Because
Yeah.
I could bring a pound, and then what happens when it's gone? Then I can't call nobody. The seeds are gonna keep me going.
See, she's so dead because she's like out there harvesting your seeds, right? And then all of a sudden, this is like your multi-billion-dollar industry,
You can make
right?
fucking shirts out of hemp and toilet paper out of hemp.
Right on
All
your
I'm saying
island,
is,
right? You could just take
yeah,
over
well,
what's his face's scary island. I sailed by it once.
that's it. Yep,
What are
that's
they
it.
what are they doing? I'm not going to say the name. I already get banned all the time, but if you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, she says we can just weave some palm fronts.
See, there you go.
That'll be fine. I'm just going to bring, a dragon. It'll be fine.
Yeah, totally. With a giant 20 pound of Costco rolled chopped meat schlong. It comes out and
I mean, worst case scenario, we can eat the dragon.
exactly. I hear
There's a
that.
joke in there somewhere. Oh my God. I had a joke I wanted to tell everybody because dad jokes are funny to me and I
Yes.
forgot it. But no clothes. Because why? Because I have palm trees.
Because if I'm
Oh, no.
alone on the island, listen, I wear clothes because I'm on camera right now. If I'm alone on the island and it's just me and my pot seeds and some chapstick
My
and,
pot seeds
a
and my
knife,
chapstick. That
who the
chapstick gonna
hell
last forever.
who the I know, right? Just a dot. And the problem is I'm like I'll be here for like an hour. I got them big lips.
I mean, you
So
don't have much going on the island, so plenty of time for self-care.
exactly. I would feel I'd be more likely to be rescued if I weren't clothed.
I'd be worried about sand and sun. I don't produce the melanin.
I would
Great.
I would make a cup out of a coconut husk so that way I didn't get any pee hole amoebas. That's what I would
No
do.
pee hole
No pee
amoebas.
hole
That
amoebas.
sounds no good.
I got it.
Oh, your response will be sunburn like a barber pole.
It'll be
Naked and afraid of the barber pole for sure.
the only that's me every time I'm in a Marriott and I lose my glasses. It's an episode of Naked and Afraid. Every time they fall off the nightstand, I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
Lord. Oh, I relate to that so much, but without the
Yeah.
penis, I just still fall everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Dad joke, because it was funny and my friend sent it to me today. It's funny when you just put something out into the universe where it's like, I'm now the condom lady. And now people give me everything of condoms, even if they're not in the industry. It's just like a friend I hung out with over the weekend. So sharing my condom joke. A husband says to his wife, my Olympic condoms have arrived. I think I'll wear gold tonight. The wife replies, why not wear silver and come second for a change? But it's so dumb, but I loved it.
It's so fabulous. My favorite thing to do is to crush like cishet men.
Oh yeah.
So when I'm talking
That really
about
sounds amazing.
oh God, I love it. When I'm talking about the ovipositor, right, for the breed but no baby book whore brats, I'm
Yes.
like, they can't feel when you come in them, right? And the horror and betrayal that washes over their face. I'm like, baby, they can't feel a tampon. They're gonna feel your. They didn't feel it. They said they did because you have a pretty face and you pay the rent, but they can't feel it. So that's why
I
you
mean,
need these eggs.
it is made for like pushing people out at some point. So you can be a little bit
Right.
harder on the situations.
So please don't think that your little. Did you feel that? Nope, sure didn't. Nope. But we're gonna say yes because now we have to pee, and our show is 7 minutes on overdue, and now I'm.
I know. Whoops. But the lies make it better. They do.
They really do.
They
But
really do.
I love to just watch the faces drop because to me it's reverse reparations. Because the
I'm
eyes
gonna
used to
get there.
drop when I had titties. Now it's the faces.
I'm gonna get there. I think I need another year or two of just being out in the wild, of all like hearing all the things from what the people are telling me, whether you own a penis or not. And then I think I'll be ready. I'm getting there though. You're teaching me good.
Got you.
Teaching me good. That's English. Okay. We got to wrap it up.
We got this.
Okay. So one piece of wisdom to wrap it up, that you'd like to leave with the audience, and of course, shamelessly plug anything, plug, where people can find you, and even where can they book you, because you're just a massive wealth of knowledge.
You're amazing. So you can find me on all the places at TheDadBodDom. If you're looking for my online content, it's going to be mainly on Facebook. So at TheDadBodDom on Facebook, or my personal page, or my Instagram. If you see that pesky blue check, you know it's me. My to book, right, to request for me to come to your store, send me an email at josh@xrbrands.com. If you want to book me to speak at an event, understand book, okay, it's askjosh@xrbrands.com. My advice during these tumultuous mental health times is some real personal advice, and it's to hold on just a little bit longer. The pendulum always swings back, and we don't want to make permanent decisions to temporary problems. My dad committed suicide, and as a child of suicide, my risk is way up there. And you can't fuck with me because I got no problem walking in front of a bus. I'll be like, dude, okay, but
It's my time. It's my time. You sound like my
right.
94-year-old grandfather.
Yeah, and that's I ain't met a child of suicide yet that's not demented. Like, should I jump off this bridge? Never mind. I have a coupon for Kohl's. I gotta go
Oh,
cash
it's
this
fine. I
up.
have something to do tomorrow. It's
I have
okay.
Kohl's cash. Damn it, maybe tomorrow. But what I have learned is that all of the problems we face in our life are truly temporary. But decisions we make sometimes can be very permanent. So right now, even though things feel impossible, if you take my hand and I take yours, we can hold ourselves steady together until you're ready to stand on your own again. It's not worth giving up. There's a lot of joy to be found. So start looking for it. That's
I
my
love it.
Jerry Springer words of wisdom. Take care of yourself and
Take
each
care of yourselves. And that's how it is. Or what was I'm missing Walter Cronkite's right now. Dang it.
other.
And
Mhm.
that's the way it ends or whatever.
Yep.
Oh, it'll be in a minute. But I got to get off this. This is too much fun.
You're the
Wait,
best.
one more comment from the PayPal. Oh, Liz, so excited. I was so bummed out. I missed yesterday staying late to type up a proposal. Stupid proposals. Hi, y'all.
Oh,
Oh, I know those lame things. We're here to help, right? You can
yeah.
yell into the ether.
Just
I have
scream.
a proposal outline, right? So many templates.
I have a
Um,
car wash membership. 3 minutes a day, I get to scream into the void. Do that.
it's so
Self
necessary.
care.
It's so necessary. Who's not screaming into the void?
Yeah.
You can borrow my void if you need it. It is a
I've been
smartphone.
screaming with the cicadas since 2020, this Brood X17. I've been screaming
Yeah.
into the since then.
Yeah,
Since
it's all
this.
part of self-care, not the aftercare that we
That's
all
it.
like to pretend is the only thing.
Bingo.
So I'm Tori. Thank you so much for coming. Come next week. I think I have Kiana coming. We're gonna talk marketing stuff and
Okay.
figure out what's going on for altitude things. And
I'll be
just check
there.
in. Have everybody like start doing the booking. And now social events are coming. So I'll keep you guys all in the know about that. And if you need to find me, right? Instagram is at Tori Tia and the Paradise Condoms, right? Paradisemarketing.com if you do need to reach out about product. Otherwise, we'll see you next Tuesday.